All right, so today we're going to ask the specific question of why, if we, whoever is watching this video, if you want to be in union or you want to be in a relationship with someone, this is going to be asking the question of why have we not had that for us, okay? So we'll get some channeled messages from our angels to answer that question. We're going to go through what this is. 2, 3, 4, oh, exactly 7. Perfect. All right, I'm using 2 decks. And because of the way these cards look, I want to put the second row down before I speak too much. But I will say, first of all, let's go through exactly what we have. We have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Typically, the 8 of Pentacles is a card of like wanting to work on something or like putting the work in, I guess, generally speaking. The next card over is the 5 of Cups, and the card next to it is the 7 of Swords in reverse. I have the 6 of Pentacles here, the 4 of Swords, which to me a lot of times is a healing card. And then we have the Fool and the 8 of Wands. So the only other thing, I mentioned what some of these cards mean. I didn't mention what some of them mean because they're not, their traditional meanings are not coming up for me. It's part of the reason why I want to pull the other row. But the 4 of Swords is coming up. This card right here is coming up for me as healing. And this card right here, the 6 of Pentacles, is coming up as like wanting to give something. And then this 8 of Wands does look like some sort of fast movement or fast communication or communication. But it also seems like it doesn't fit with some of the other cards that are up here. Because this 8 of Pentacles, I see this Fool of the starting, but then I see this 8 of Pentacles. Look, the Fool again is trying to like come out. The Fool is trying to come out again. And behind it, there's the King of Wands in reverse, the Twin Flame card, and the Temperance card. But I'm going to put them back in. I see that 8 of Pentacles was what I was going to say, which again, on the deck, in bottom of the deck, in reverse, right next to this other card we were just looking at, the Fool, and all these other cards I just showed you. I feel like that 8 of Pentacles is a lack of starting. And then I see all this like, I'm just going to call it right now negativity in the middle. The reason why I'm using that particular word is because that is going to denote like a lower vibration. So even if somebody is trying to do better in this particular situation, they're starting from a low place. Because we kind of want the universe to tell us why we're not in some kind of union. I want these cards to come out on their own. I have the 3 of Pentacles underneath this 8 of Pentacles in reverse. I have this Ace of Swords underneath that the 5 of Cups. It's interesting that I was going to call it the Fire of Cups. And then the Devil is underneath this 7 of Swords in reverse. When I first saw the 3 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords underneath that 5 of Cups was looking like sorrow from like a past experience, right? And that Ace of Swords, when it came out, it was almost kind of like a lot of times when we see something like that in when it's on the table like that, we're like, oh, you're still sorrowful, you're still sad, blah, blah, blah. This Ace of Swords coming out underneath it was kind of telling me that you have a right to be sad. Like whatever happened, it, you know, because the other meaning or the other air I was getting off of it too was like, oh, you're still sad, you know, and this is saying, this Ace of Swords is saying that you have a right to still be sad. Like whatever happened, most people would still be sad, or nobody's asking you to not be sad from that. And then we have this Devil underneath this 7 of Swords. The Seven of Swords is upside down, but I feel like it was happening. So happening, but upside down, and then now with this devil underneath it, I feel like that makes sense because I feel like it's a possibility. I was gonna say that it was happening like under wraps or like without someone's knowledge, but I feel like no. I feel like the devil's kind of out there. And then we have this Five of Swords energy underneath this Six of Pentacles, which the Six of Pentacles was kind of like a give energy, and then this Five of Swords is kind of like a taking energy, and then this Eight of Cups. This Eight of Cups was on the split. When I was showing you that other Eight of Pentacles in reverse, this was the other card in that split that was trying to show itself. And now it's under this healing card. Here we go, two more. I wanted to turn it this way. So Death in reverse, under the Fool, and then the King of Pentacles under the Eight of Wands. Okay. So, the reason why we're not in union is because there are some energies that have been left behind. It's not wrong, it's not bad, there's no time limit on this, but it is present. And so we started with this Eight of Pentacles, this energy of not really wanting to work on it. When we're first hurt, or however, whatever state we're left in a breakup. And the reason why I use that term is because when we break up, sometimes we're exhilarated, sometimes we're happy, sometimes there's a sense of freedom. There's all kinds of things that can go into this, and a combination of things that can go into this that could cause us to be like, woo, I just went through this and I'm just going to wait till I do it again, right? So this card really isn't not wanting to work on it. You know, there's no shade. We're acknowledging here that we went through something, okay? So also in this row with this Three of Pentacles, I feel like even though I have a different meaning for the stars on the bottom of this deck, we're getting ready to pull the third row. We're going to start where I'm talking right now. But a lot of times, even though the threes, all the threes, Three of Swords, Three of Pentacles, you know, they all have different meanings for me. And they don't all imply third party. They all can. And I feel like this situation, the remnants of this situation, even if there isn't a third party present anymore, yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. We know that there's this third party energy. We're in it. How do we know? Because it was in our last relationship or our last 10 relationships. So we know that that third party energy is there. Okay. Might be one reason for not wanting to work on it. Another reason might be just we're just not ready. Like we know we're not ready. That's the High Priestess. We just know we're not ready. We've got this Five of Cups and this Ace of Swords, right, in the second row. And we're saying, yes, you have a perfect right to be upset. You have a perfect right to still be sad. You have a perfect right to even be turned off. Again, our lack of not wanting to work on, you know, our not wanting to work on things, our lack of energy for it. You know, you have a perfect right to not want to put yourself into this situation. You're perfectly right. But you're still carrying burdens, right? So even if you didn't want to start in a relationship, you're not doing it from a place of being free of these energies. You still have them. You still have the third party energy. You still have the sadness from the thing that happened to you. You know damn well that you're not ready for a relationship. You absolutely know that's truth. And you know that you're still carrying on to baggage. We just don't know exactly what it is yet, because again, we're refusing to start to the process of looking at things, right? So then with this Seven of Swords in reverse and this Devil underneath, so we already said that we felt like there was some sort of treachery or trickery involved. But we didn't necessarily see it. But then we said with the devil out there in the open like that, and we kind of feel like, of course we saw it. We saw it. We either didn't understand that it was of the devil, or we just didn't understand, like basically we didn't understand how bad it was, or we didn't understand how like prominent it was. In other words, the difference between the two would be we didn't know how bad it could get, like we didn't realize that things could get totally out of hand, or we didn't realize that this wasn't a sometimes thing, like this was an all the time thing, and we didn't stop it when we saw it because we thought it was a small thing, and it ended up being a big thing kind of a thing, right? We still have that. We're still carrying around that with this Eight of Wands. So we have this Eight of Wands here and this Eight of Wands here. So in this devil energy, we know we're quick to trigger. We're quick to anything that we experienced in like I said, not just in this relationship, in the relationship before, that there's certain things that we that trigger us, that make us feel a certain way, and that are reminiscent of how we used to be. And it's the things that make it so that it's not conducive of having like a wholesome relationship. So now we have the Wheel of Fortune upside down. The Wheel of Fortune upside down is going on top of this Six of Pentacles, this wanting to give card, but then having this Five of Swords. And I feel like now seeing them both together like that with these other cards and talking about how we're kind of sort of not healed, I feel like it's kind of like we know. Let me just read what's on this card. Mind games, yes. Lack of intimacy, deception, playing to win, victory at all costs, silence. So we know that we want to give to somebody, we want to be in something, but we know that when something happens or we feel threatened, like I said, we're going to be triggered, this devil card, right? We know that when something happens that we're gonna want to give more than this person bargained for, right? Out of lack of being healed. We're going to want to, give, but not anything that's really something that they might want, right? Just by being triggered. With this Wheel of Fortune upside down, this is either causing us to not heal so that we can have this situation, or it's a possibility that we did already step forward into a situation and this is currently occurring, which I feel like this Wheel of Fortune upside down is also kind of saying that if this is currently happening, that it's making the situation worse. Us wanting to give and then kind of stabbing somebody with a fork every time things don't go our way is sort of working against the thing that we're working towards. But we do it because we're not healed, right? So we have this Passion card down here by the Fool, and this Eight of Cups upside down. I'm trying to get a read on this Eight of Cups upside down. Oh. Okay. So in the beginning, we were talking about how we didn't want to move forward. That we knew that High Priestess card, that we knew that we were carrying burdens and things with us, right? A lot of times we call it like luggage or baggage, and this is all those things we talked about. Is that luggage or baggage unpacked? It's certain reasons why someone might not want to move forward. One of those reasons could even be that they don't feel good enough. Again, if someone told them that they weren't good enough, or somebody treated them as if they weren't good enough, then there could be all these other beliefs that don't really have anything to do with the actual relationship. I wish I could explain that concept right now in this video, but I don't want to get too far into it. I feel like when people bring belief systems in like that, then it really isn't part of the relationship. It's their insecurities. And so that's why I say it like that, I feel like this person is walking away from the idea that not starting is not helping. Like it's not, we can sit here in this Wheel of Fortune energy, this Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy. But not only do we feel like maybe we're not moving towards the thing that we want, but we also might feel like we are moving backwards. And at this stage, we almost have a fear with all this baggage that we're carrying, that if we move backwards, we're going to step back into that situation again, and it's going to be hell. And so we're more willing to walk away from that than we are to stay in it any longer. We're more than willing to take a step. We are motivated by whatever. It's not just fear. There's an excitement of, let me get out of this. right? So Death Upside Down. Death Upside Down has been showing up a lot in readings that I've been doing. And the Death Upside Down card has been presenting itself as in like, if you don't end this, it's not going to be ended for you. The universe is not going to step in and end this for you. You're going to be lying in the bed that you made. This is on top, or I'm sorry, underneath the Four of Swords, which is interesting because that's the healing card. So this card, this Death in reverse underneath this Four of Swords is telling me, okay, if you want to stay in bad situations and you don't want to get rid of this luggage or stop these bad tendencies that, you know, keep you toxic, or whatever it is that you're doing that's keeping you in this energy, that's keeping you away from the thing that you want or want to be, we will not end this for you. You are making your bed. I'm trying to get another card on this row. Yeah. And it's funny too, because a lot of times when I think of making your bed, I always think of a bed of nails. In order to get to the point where you're ready to move away from this with this fuel energy, this fuel energy. See, it's funny because this Ace of Wands is kind of coming off like this. It's like, it's not like a desire, like I said, out of fear. This is like a want. This is like, I want to move in this direction because when I'm moving towards or when I'm moving away from it's like I said, it's not running. It's almost like an excitement, but in order to get there to the point where you want to move, you have to heal. And then after you move, you're going to heal again. I think it's interesting that I keep getting, these cards are like jumping, but they're not jumping out of my hand. They're literally catching air and then jumping back into my hand. That was a bunch of cards, so I put them back, but the card that was showing was the Six of Wands, which is the victory card. We're just looking for one more card here from this deck, and then we'll get into this a little bit deeper if we can. I think it's interesting that the universe is kind of acting like, okay, we're not going to push you anymore. You have to make a choice. Here we go. The Hangman in reverse.